it is suggested, this is the boundless energy, that there is only boundless energy. It takes every form. So all of this in this room, bodies, lights, is simply boundless energy in this form. It takes this form. It takes any form, the garden, the world, the apparent, the apparent garden, the apparent people, the apparent room. It's simply boundless energy in that form. And it has no meaning or purpose of any kind. I'm going to say that again because most individuals don't want to hear that there's no meaning or purpose. But it has no meaning or purpose. None of this has any meaning or purpose. It simply is what it is. It has no beginning and no end because it's timeless. There is no time. There is apparent time, but there's not real time. And meaning and purpose need time. For there to be a meaning, there has to be a meaning in a period of time. For there to be a purpose, there has to be a goal, which happens in time. So there's no meaning or purpose, because all of this is completely and absolutely timeless. It's the empty fullness, the formless form. I call it the beloved. Some people don't like the beloved because they think it sounds divine, but it's not meant in any way as a divine word, the beloved. The beloved comes out of the lover. The lover. Yeah. So everything is the beloved. Everything is unconditional love. There isn't anything that isn't unconditional love. So what the seeker lives in is longing for. What the seeker experiences, sitting on a seat, breathing, hearing a voice, whatever that is the beloved. It is the boundless energy. It's the beloved. You can't avoid it. There is only that. Even the idea that there isn't only that is also the beloved. Even the idea that you have to do something to find the beloved is the beloved also. It's amazing how inescapable unconditional love is. You live in it, you are it. There is only that. In that boundless energy, there can arise a contracted energy, because boundless is everything. It's free to be anything. And so it can be contracted as well. And so when a child is born, like an animal, like every other animal, it just is what it is. It doesn't have any sense of identity. There is just what's happening. It can get angry or hungry or any of those things. But there isn't anybody doing it. There's the sense, I am angry. There's just anger and hunger and love and all that stuff. It just is what it is. And then, in some way or other, for no reason at all, a sort of bounded, contracted energy arises in the body, just like that. When it does, and this animal that is everything and nothing suddenly has a sense of something in the body, for the first time, a something arises. Because before that, hunger and love and all those things weren't a something, they were just what was happening. They were happening in the innocence, the childlike innocence. They were happening, just happening for no one. And then this contracted energy arises, and suddenly there's something in the body, and suddenly there's also an awareness of something in the body. There's something here that's suddenly aware that there's something in the body. This is a completely new adventure. So the awareness of this contracted energy is there for the first time. And that is the beginning of dualism for this animal. This animal has a sense of dualism. And it's utterly, uniquely human. No animal, no tree, no nothing else has a sense of truth. It's only a human event, and it has no reason at all for it to be there. It just is there. So don't ask me why. Well, you can ask me why, but you won't get a very good answer. There's no answer to why. It just is like that. And so the child grows up in dualism, and because it's aware of this energy in here, there's something that happens that creates a sense of a me. Suddenly there is someone in here after months or years, and sharing with other people who are the same. Suddenly there's a sense of a me, an individual, who lives in dualism, bad, good, better, worse, and all of that. And usually, not always, grows up with apparent parents who also live in that world, that dualism. The other main thing about dualism, the most powerful illusion of all of dualism, is that the child believes they are real. I am a real person. And I live in a real world. And I have a real story about myself. And I have real awareness, and I have a real choice to influence that story. This is as the child grows up, it becomes more individualistic. And the other thing is, of course, he's meeting, or she is meeting, dozens, well, everybody else, mostly, who believes the same thing. So the dualistic world is the normal world. This is normal. I am real, you are real, we're in a story, we have choice, da-da-da-da-da. There is bad, there is good, da-da-da-da-da. All of that becomes completely entrenched in the body, and is, for the individual, the truth about their existence. So most people experience their lives, and they experience their lives in a way that's completely influenced by a total incomprehension. Most people in the world live in a total incomprehension of who they are and what this is. And the incomprehension is that it's real. This is a real world, and I'm a real person. So that's what we can talk about, because the whole essence of that contracted sense of being a me is somehow discomforting. For most people, they don't necessarily notice that it's discomforting, and they will distract themselves in some way or other in their life in order to comfort themselves and feel good about themselves. Some people, however, feel that sense of that there's something lost. They want to find out more about it, so they seek to not be separate. They may not necessarily know that, but actually basically separation is the most uncomfortable experience for the individual. Out of separation arises neurosis. And so the seeker tries to find a way of escaping from being separate. And may do that through religion or psychotherapy or whatever. So that's what we're talking about here, and it's possible that all sorts of ideas can come up, but they're confronted by a very radical perception which may make some of those belief systems wobble. But the most powerful thing, or the most, not powerful exactly, that's not quite the word, but the thing about this conversation is that it is a seeking, it has the energy of seeking, which has an intention about it, a sort of aggressive intention of finding something, and it meets nothing. It meets a response, because when you're talking to this, what you're getting back is a response out of nothing. And it's possible that that intentional energy can fall into that open space, that balances, and simply evaporate. Because basically, This isn't about what we're talking about. This will never be understood, ever. I don't understand it, nobody understands it. It can't be understood. We're talking about a mystery which can't be comprehended. But we will talk, obviously we'll talk together, but that talking and that conversation is a vehicle, it's a vehicle for something else. And that something else, which is longed for, can never be grasped, can never be found. The whole energy of seeking what is longed for is utterly, beautifully, completely futile. Nobody has ever found this. And nobody has ever found this because it already is. It already is. Boundless, unconditional love is all of it. But it isn't a thing, and the problem with the seeker is that the seeker lives in a subject-object world. So the seeker makes what it longs for an object, not being separate or awakening or enlightenment or whatever you like to call it. So it looks for an object out there with intention. I intend to find an object out there. It never can, because what it longs for is already everything. It's sitting on a seat, it's breathing, it's hearing a voice, it's having a feeling, it's raising your right eyebrow. It's tinier and more magnificent than any of that. And it's this.
Hi Tony. So, when you say it's this, the seeker obviously thinks, well, I don't see it, so it must be somewhere else. Is it only the need to find it that keeps it hidden?
Well, no, it isn't hidden, it's everything. So how can it be hidden? It's absolutely everything. It's only hidden from that which is trying to find it. So there's a seeking energy, there's a thrusting out into the apparent world to find it. It isn't apparent. It's that thrusting energy for which it doesn't appear. Because it's already everything, why should it appear? Why should it appear? And what form would it appear to be apparent to the seeker when it's already everything? Whatever the seeker is looking at is the beloved. So why should the beloved be bothered to suddenly glow in a golden way or have stars coming out? It wouldn't, because it already is the magnificence of the balance.
You were saying to me when we were talking this week that kind of when the illusion of being a person drops away, it is staggering.
It's staggering in its utter simplicity and ordinariness. Oh God, after all those years of meditation, it's just a flaw, or whatever. It's stunning, but there isn't anybody that says that because there isn't anybody left. But it's in the very nature of what it is that there is something that's completely indescribable. I was talking to somebody else the other day, who this is a pattern for. Well, it hasn't happened for them, but it seems apparent. And they said to me, Tony, I can't describe this to you, and I know you can't describe it to me. It's indescribable. The nature of it is indescribable. And yet it is
It still seems like completely unbelievable to me.
Well, it is it's not seeming unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
But then I think if it's unbelievable, then how can you talk about it?
I can't talk about it. Nobody can ever talk about it. Whatever we say today isn't it, and yet whatever we say today is it. It's a divine paradox.
So there is only the joy of going into a dialogue with the
Say
soul.
that again.
So there is only the joy left.
Joy.
Joy.
Well, it's life happening. Joy can arise or not. There's nothing. There isn't something
Nothing
living
to
from
enjoy.
that we enjoy. It would be so boring. There is just life happening. And they're not happening to anyone.
But there is the joy
Okay.
of going into a dialogue with the so-called you.
Okay.
And maybe the kind of dialogue that is coming up with you may give a glimpse on the what is meant
Well,
about
maybe
that energy.
it will arise. Yeah.
Maybe. How do you say always? Apparently.
Apparently.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Tony, yesterday, I can't remember what I was saying to you, but you said to me, aren't you bored? Like, just going on and on and on. See,
So what did I say to you?
I can't remember what I was asking about, but you said, aren't you bored?
Oh, didn't
Meaning, aren't I bored of just, trying
That's fine.
to find whatever? And I thought that hit me quite hard, and I was thinking about it, last night and this morning. And I thought, I'm not bored of seeking, I'm just absolutely fascinated by this sense that if I try really, 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 really hard, I'm going to find something really, really, really special and amazing. And it is actually just a total addiction, seeking.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'm absolutely addicted to that idea that I'm going to really get something in.
that's fine. Yeah. So that's what's happening.
So why can't I...
Apparently.
I want that, but at the same time I want that drive to soften as well, because it is exhausting.
Oh, God, here we go. So you sort of worked it out, but also you've got other things you'd like it to be, or whatever. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hi, Tony. So it's amazing how real this dream seems. And then
Well, it seems real because the dreamer thinks it is real. That's the illusion.
and
I am real, this world is real.
and it's so powerless right now. It's really fighting right now, for its life right now.
No, I didn't hear that.
The dream is fighting against something right now.
Fighting.
Yeah,
Oh.
for its life, or it just can't penetrate anything.
It believes it is.
It's so lost right now here. I feel extremely. Yeah.
Tony, I think I've heard you say before that there's some people you've spoken to where it all collapsed and then they slept for like a week or something.
No, not me.
Okay.
I don't remember that. No, not at all.
Okay.
Somebody else.
Oh, I thought I might. No, I didn't. I didn't think you'd said it about you. I thought you'd said you'd heard people say that, report that to you that once it was.
No, I don't think I've ever heard that.
Okay. Well, I know it happened with Jim. He said that once it was all over, he slept for a whole week and he couldn't get out of bed.
Right.
I was wondering what would you think that would be to do with?
I've no idea.
Okay. Tony, you know in the introduction you were saying there's no meaning or purpose.
When I'm...
In the introduction,
Oh,
you were saying there's no meaning or purpose. I'm adding a lot of meaning and purpose to the silence. Because no, I am adding meaning to
you are.
because I'm thinking if it's just silent for the whole time, I won't make any progress. I think in order for me to make the most progress, we need to have a really animated discussion. And what's worrying me is I can't even come up with a question to ask you.
No, God. That's interesting.
It's very hopeless.
Obviously, hardly anybody else can. That's what it is. That's what's happening.
Do you think it's because the hopelessness is settling in?
Really. In silence, time stops. In silence, the time
Silence.
stops.
What about silence?
Time stops.
Time stops?
In silence, the time stops.
Sorry, I'm not getting that. I don't know what you're talking about. Can somebody else tell me?
Because there's no seeking anymore. There's no seeking in the future or the past.
Where is there not seeking? I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying that because everybody's silent in the room, there's no seeking?
No, not really.
Oh, so what are you saying?
When the seeking stops, then there is
What
silence.
makes seeking stop?
There's nothing to search.
Nothing to say.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's it.
You really fondly believe that seeking stops when there's nothing to say.
No, there is this. That's what it is.
Oh.
Hello. I guess watching the news is still happening.
Watching the news still
Yeah.
happens, yeah.
Is there still same response or response of
There can be a response to the news, yeah.
specifically affection and disturbance, irritation, sadness about bad news like war and pollution?
Not really, no.
No.
It just is what it is.
So there's
Some things
freedom
seem-
from the
Some
burden.
things seem ridiculous and or unintelligent. That's all.
There's no concern about it.
There isn't any one concern, no.
But concern can happen.
There's a sadness about how people live in the imprisonment of being separate, and react and respond to it.
Also beyond the human for the environment?
Sorry,
Beyond the human for the environment as well?
I don't quite understand. There's a sadness about what the way
Yeah.
apparent people seem to experience separation and how they react and respond to it. It's quite straightforward.
Yes. It leads into a second question. Maybe do you mind talking a little bit about the distinction between that,
The tension,
the distinction
oh,
between that perspective and nihilism or indifference, which is easy to mix up?
oh, there's no comparison. There is no meeting. Nihilism has a sort of aggressive, intensive perception of life. This doesn't. We're talking here about just boundless energy. We're not talking about being something wrong with it or it having a certain direction it's taking, which nihilism, as far as I can understand, it does. I mean, I've come across the idea of nihilism and quickly dismissed it. It's childish. It's unintelligent.
Is there something behind all phenomena?
No. All phenomena is nothing being all phenomena. Nothing hidden, except for that which seeks to know and hopefully find out what's behind all phenomena.
So everything that is falls somehow within the five senses?
Everything is
Everything that is falls somehow within the five senses of the human
within
body.
the what?
Five senses of the human body.
The five senses.
No. Beyond the five senses. Everything is beyond the five. Five senses are something that arises in the whole. What we're talking about here is beyond. Or, yeah, beyond is good enough. Just about. It's boundless and immeasurable.
Without being personal, just practical matter of language, the sentence. How do you know that what you sense and conclude is true?
I don't.
Maybe it's only true
I
for
don't. I
you.
don't.
No?
I know nothing. I know nothing. This knows nothing. This isn't about knowing. This is beyond knowing.
So the communication of excluding certain dualistic attributes can also be incomplete. You say some things are not part of it.
I didn't get any of that really. I didn't really understand what you were getting at.
So everything that is being said here can also be incomplete and
Yeah,
incorrect.
absolutely. It never is complete. It's words. It's something beyond that. It's imperfect. Does that satisfy you?
One more.
Anything as long as you like.
There is a contradiction in the description of this contraction or fantasy, that it has no cause. But within the fantasy, everything is causation, or dualism. But if the thing is within cause and effect, then the end of that must also be possible to cause.
Must also be
Possible to cause the end of that, which is in itself
the apparent
dualistic.
end, the apparent cause would
Apparent, yes, not in time.
would somehow bring about its own end.
Exactly.
Of course, in the story it would.
In the story.
Well, of course, because in dualism there can only be story and real belief about cause and effect, which would apparently bring that cause to an end. So what?
Well, there is a practical moment of time, according to the sun, etc.
Well, wait a minute.
Then, yeah.
In dualism, there is time.
Yes.
In dualism, time is real.
So in a dualistic view, there is a point of time when the contraction appears.
Apparently. Apparently.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Apparently disappears.
Apparently. So what?
There is the view that everything that has a beginning must have an end.
There are all sorts of views.
Or can have
I've noticed there are many views.
Yes. Now, to put it very profanely, if you say that,
I didn't get that.
if I can phrase it very profane, that the fantasy has this cause and effect, but it cannot end or begin by any cause, then there is dualism in itself, but it's still placed by the non-dual rules. That is a kind of, there aren't any rules, that's why I'm
How
saying.
can there be rules when there's only everything?
Yes.
Please tell me, I'd love to know. Tell me one rule that's non-dual. Tell me a rule. I'm longing to hear it. Come on.
The cause and effect.
Oh. It's almost not worthy of reply.
That's harsh.
But it's harsh, because that is how it is. The idea that the cause and effect is real in
Within the dream.
non-duality is utterly farcical. The idea that cause and effect is real in dualism is totally true. In dualism, people believe there is such a thing as cause and effect, and it is real. Because of course in dualism, everything is real. So, cause and effect is real. But I haven't yet heard of a rule that arises in boundless energy.
That's a nice thought. That's like that.
Do you have the microphone? Hi Tony. So when there are long silences, when there's long silences, do you think it is because the me's facing the futility of trying again and again?
Can be or not. I don't think you can generalise.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm backed into a corner and I can't get out.
Well, you always have been.
Yeah, but I believe...
You're back into the corner of your own seat. Sorry, you were saying.
No, that's it. No, I always believed there were so many different escape routes I could take.
Oh,
And I think maybe the escape routes are just being shown to not be real.
oh,
I still think I'll get it eventually, but...
no, I think you do. When you do, give me a ring. And then I can say more bollocks to you.
I don't know if I should say this or not, but I want to say it anyway. I think that the intensity of my seeking, the reason my seeking is so intense is because I feel so inferior to everyone else. And I feel like they're so far ahead of me. And everyone I meet, I'm jealous of them that they're better than me. And I think if only I'd become liberated.
They're better seekers, aren't they?
No, I just think everyone else is ahead of me in general, like in life. In every way. So if it's here, then I think, well, they're closer to liberation than I am. So I've got to try twice as hard.
That's an amazing view.
So I've got to
It's so dualistic it couldn't be true.
And yeah, I think if only I could get rid of the me, then I'd be good enough.
You know you can't because there isn't one.
You mind if I go a bit off topic, asking a personal question?
Sure, I don't mind what happens. Always what happens.
I remember in an interview you said that the first glimpses happened at the age of 20 or 20s.
The first glimpse.
Glimpses appeared in the age of the 20s. At age of 20 or something.
Oh yeah.
And fall away without return was much later, but I didn't hear well.
Apparently. That's all the story, really.
Yeah, so off topic. The story, was it in the 60s or?
Oh God knows, I can't remember. What does it matter? It's got nothing to do with time anyway. Or age.
Yeah, but if the fall away happens at age of 0, there aren't any residues.
Okay. I believe you. So what? But there aren't any residues anyway. If it happens at 80 or 40 or 60, there is no one. The brain may hold neurosis, but it's now only something that's apparently happening. Nobody has it. And you speak as though in some way or other residues could be real. There is nothing that is real. Everything is an appearance of nothing. So your so-called residues are also unreal.
And when your knee claps,
When
your I am claps, it was only apparently happened.
I don't quite getting that one.
When you collapse,
When your knee collapsed, it was only.
Nobody collapses, but the illusion of separation it can be no more. The illusion can fall away.
Thanks.
From where is the idea of the I arising? The
Yeah,
idea of
nothing.
the I.
The I arising is nothing arising of the I.
Nothing arising.
Takes the form of nothing is the everything.
Yes.
It's the boundless energy.
Yeah.
And can take any form, and obviously takes any form, not through a choice or anything, but it just is what happens. So the I, or the sense of me, or the sense of separation, simply arises out of that.
Okay.
This is nothing. And everything.
So there are many questions coming up, but it feels like it's all coming from ego and yes, trying to ask something special and yes. So this is also separation and ego, everything.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not
So-
okay.
So I'm aware that there are many questions coming up, but but it feels like it's all coming from ego or trying to be special, trying to ask something this and this.
Okay, that's fine, thank you.
And why is the ego trying to be special? Or
Well, because it wants to be loved. Because it was separate, that it wants to be loved. It's always looking for some sort of something that will distract it from being separate. So being loved by other people, or their ontology, is a way of distracting it and comforting it, being separate. It's in continuous need. Because it is apparently in continuous need, because it's apparently continuously separate. So you need to forget all the many questions and answers that have happened this afternoon and come to see that when you get out and walk out of here, that is what is happening. This is the beloved. You can never escape what you long for. It doesn't matter what you do, where you go, what you think, what you don't think. The beloved is constantly there. You can't escape from unconditional love. It never came and it never went away. It is all there is. Thank you very much.